Together is a new app combining unique ways for you to search, discover, and share with others near you and everywhere around the world. Start from your location and jump in on what's going on around you. You can discover others through posts and pins relating to places and watch your streams come to life with people, places, and ideas. Like me, near me. Download Together now.
Big thanks, obviously, to all our subscribers and listeners to the MOATS podcast. For the older amongst you, a podcast is the distilled version, about half as long, which has become a phenomenon on the internet. So it's a media phenomenon, and it's tearing up the mainstream media monopoly. Please download it on Apple or Spotify and leave us a 5-star review, like Sanam in London, who said, "George, I've been watching your show for a long time, and I must admit that you are a true leader and very courageous man to carry on your work of exposing the truth and showing us the other side of the picture, which always gets blocked by the US and the West through their media. God bless you always." Sanam in London. Very touching, Sanam. Thank you very much for that.
You are listening to the mother of all talk shows with George Galloway.
Here's me on Together. I've pinned myself as in Stockport on Monday, which is the next place I'll be making a public engagement. It is actually a terrific app, and we're now going to meet Robert Feder, who is the founder and CEO of Encode Systems that has launched the Together app, and a very live wire he is too. Robert, thanks for joining us. Thanks, of course, for your sponsorship. We had a synergy, as they say in business. You are looking for thinking customers, and I've got at least 1 million thinking customers on my purview. So it's kind of obvious that we would find our way to each other, but thank you for it in any case.
Well, we're very grateful for the opportunity. And I think it was about a couple of weeks ago, you had a caller, his name was Douglas, and he was saying something along the lines of, maybe we should get our own app together rather than have all the tech giants involved, and maybe there's something that we should do. And I was watching the show and I was thinking, that's us. We've got to sponsor the show, which has been a lively one already, hasn't it? And we want to kind of echo that spirit inside Together for open, tolerant, and respectful conversation.
So tell us, for the viewers that are not already on it, though I suspect people are reaching for their phones right now, what can you do on the app?
Quite a few have already joined during the show, I've noticed. It's a social media app where you can start discussion threads on any topic that you wish, and you can locate those discussions and pin them on different parts of the world if you wish to do that. So I could have a discussion about MOATS, and I could start having it locally, and anybody that wants to check out the discussion that might be nearby can see what people are talking about. Of course, inside those threads, you can share video, text, pictures, all those kinds of things. And you can also then explore what other people are saying and see who they're following and the kinds of things that they're posting. And if you want to, you can direct message them privately. So it's a kind of, we think of it as a social media app, but with a geographic and local twist to it.
Yeah, twist, it's a good way of describing it. How does it differ from Twitter, that most of the people watching this will be on, at least until Elon Musk begins to charge them for a blue tick? What's the difference between Together and Twitter?
the main thing, I think, is the whole thing about geography and locality. So with Twitter, it's primarily you're tweeting to the world, and you can tweet, so you can message to the world with Together, but also you can look at what's happening in a specific area, a specific location, and create a local discussion. It can either be local around you in your backyard, or it can be local in some other place that has an interest to you. So we originated in the States, so we have some of our co-creators are based over there. So I'm very interested in what's happening in Arizona at the moment. So I'm often looking at what's happening in Phoenix, and at the same time, I'm very interested in what's happening in London, because that's where I work and live. So the real thing is the whole geographic element. There's another thing you can do with Together, which is interesting. When we first thought about how people might use the app, we were thinking about events and festivals, possibly even marches, and thinking about you, George, protest marches. And it's a way that you can start having a discussion in that kind of a crowd, that geography. And if you wanted to, you could share your location in real time with other people without having to have them as friends, without having to have their private details. So you can share location publicly for a period of time when you want to. And you can also project yourself with whatever alias that you wish. So you don't actually have to declare your identity. And these are things which increasingly are going to differentiate us from any other kind of app that's out there. So I think when people try the app, they look at it, it's also very different the way it works and operates. So it'll become very, very clear instantly how it's different.
Yeah, and of course that is an important caveat that you make. Although you can say, I'm by the big tent at this festival, I'm a Mother of All Talk Shows supporter. Any others who are in the festival who want to come and have a drink with me and listen to the show with me at 9 o'clock or whatever, you can do that, but you don't have to. The people don't need to know who you are or where you are.
No, you don't have to share your location. You don't have, and it's interesting. You asked earlier on, had we thought about dating and matchmaking? Well, what we originally thought is, as I said, the festivals, events, and those kinds of things. But what we've seen is the way people are using the app is they start to check out what other people are posting. Obviously, whether or not they're nearby as well. So there might be people that they could potentially meet. And then they start to have private discussions with those people and see how those conversations go. So that we are seeing some people getting together either as friends or something more. And that is an interesting thing that we hadn't originally planned for or suspected, but it is something that is happening.
Now, who's behind the app, Robert?
You mentioned Encode Systems. We originated in the US, in Arizona. We've got a team that have co-created and developed the product. That team is, some of us are here in Europe. You can tell from my accent I'm a Brit. We have people inside the rest of Europe as well, but we also have a team out in the States, and we even have people in Japan. Now, it is a small team. We're not a huge conglomerate, and we're enthusiasts that felt that there was a gap, and that's what we're filling.
So you're not big tech, but I hope that by sponsoring the Mother of All Talk Shows, you'll become bigger tech than you were at the beginning. How do our people now watching this, how do they get your app?
Well, you can just go to either the App Store for Apple or the Google Play Store. Just search for Together, 2GATHR, and you can download it for there. It's free, and it will work on tablets as well as smartphones, and that's all there is to it. If you want to check out a little bit more, you can go to the website together.net and just check it out from there. And what I'd like to say is anybody that wants to try it, as I said, it is for free, and we'd be very grateful if we can get some new users, and we're excited about this sponsorship.
Brilliant. Now, Facebook lost the, you've lost the E. Why have you spelt it together without the E?
Because it's such a brilliant name without the E, isn't it, George? It's that straightforward. It's so cool. It looks so cool.
It's very cool. It's a very, very cool app, and I congratulate you for it. And you're a pretty cool CEO also. Many thanks for your sponsorship and for coming on the show tonight, Robert Feder.
My pleasure.
Together. Please help us, help him download that app. Let me take some calls. Jerry is in Massachusetts on the energy crisis looming large in the US. You've run out of diesel, Jerry.
Yeah, I guess we have. But I'd like to maybe talk about something positive for Europe if they take the opportunity. There's a revolution going on, and the revolution is in physics. And you've heard of the unified field theory and all that Einstein had worked on. And scientists have solved this problem. And this is going to open up all kinds of opportunities for new technologies, including, control of gravity, infinite power, clean power. They're saying like a cubic centimeter of space, which is not empty according to them, can power the world for like millions of years. That's how much power there is there. And there's also many other new opportunities there. And if Europe, because of their position, they're in dire straits, could take advantage of that, invest, in some kind of research in like the Manhattan project that they did in the United States, something like that, invest like millions or billions of dollars into it, get all the smartest people you can gather and all the engineers and work on this. You guys will be free. You'll be free of United States, and you'd be free of Russia. You'd have your own energy, and you wouldn't have to depend on anybody. And of course, that eventually. Well,
the Manhattan Project, of course, was the project that invented the nuclear bomb, which destroyed humanity in 2 Japanese cities, and may well yet, before we're able to reach this energy Valhalla you describe, destroy the rest of us. Jerry, thanks. Wonderful to hear that Massachusetts accent. I heard a bit of Ted Kennedy in that voice. Now, have we got Kenny in Acton? Because if we do, I'd like to finish the show with him, but he has dropped off the line. Thanks anyway. I'd like to thank the sponsors. He's here, Kenny. I wanted to finish with him. So before I do, let me thank the sponsors, Together and KM220, who have made this entire show possible. Please support them, and then they'll keep supporting us. Kenny is, I understand, on the line. Go ahead, Ken.
Hello, George. How you doing? Okay.
All right. Nice to hear from you.
You too. I didn't really have much to say because there's that much been happening in the world. It's like, where the hell do you start? But I fancy a sing song.
Yeah. That's what I was hoping you'd say, to be perfectly honest. I think we need cheering up with a Kenny from Acton sing song. On you go. Go on yourself, as we say in Scotland.
Well, George, there's more to rock and roll than just Elvis Presley, and I'm going to sing a different rock and roller song tonight. And as soon as I start, I'll try to show you'll guess who it is.
Okay.
Well, it's Saturday night and I just got paid. Fool about the money, don't try to save. My heart says go, go, have a time. Saturday night and I'm feeling fine. I'm gonna rock it up. I'm gonna rip it up. I'm gonna shake it up. Gonna ball it up.
Yes, the ball.
I'm gonna rock it up and ball tonight. Got me a date and I won't be late. Pick her up in my 88. Shack on down by the Union Hall. When the joint starts jumping, I'll have a ball. I'm gonna rock it up. I'm gonna rip it up. I'm gonna shake it up. Gonna ball it up. I'm gonna rock it up and ball tonight. Do-do-do. There.
Well, Bill Haley in the comments, if I'm not wrong.
No, it was Little Richard.
Was it Little Richard? How could I get that wrong? As my 8-year-old
Rip
son
Up
was
is a Little
Richard's
Richard
biggest fan.
song
You know that?
originally, but Elvis Presley actually covered it. And he sung it
Did he?
in the 50s as well.
Long Tall Sally, Good Golly Miss Molly, Lucille. These are 3 of the greatest rock
Keep on knocking,
tracks
but you
of
can't
all
come
time.
in.
Keep on, yeah. I mean, Little
That was
Richard
played in the Tom
was,
Predator with
if
Arnold
not-
Schwarzenegger.
If there was no Little Richard, you could argue there would have been no Elvis, right?
Exactly. Little Richard was on the scene before Elvis, and the first song that Elvis Presley sung on television was a Little Richard song. It was Ready Teddy. And he had such
Ready,
a
ready,
unique...
Teddy, I'm ready.
That's it. Or at least it was one of the first songs that Elvis sung on live on TV. But Little Richard had such a unique, amazing voice that you could not emulate it.
Totally.
You know? You can sing it pretty much in the Elvis song. Hey, George.
He had a dynamism that Elvis definitely borrowed from. In fact, in the latest biopic, the 2 men meet together, don't they, upstairs in that smoky blues jazz club. It's a kind of magic moment. Anyway, Kenny, I could talk to you all night about Little Richard and Elvis, and I apologize for misidentifying the singer of the song you gave us. Thanks for joining us. We've covered the world tonight. We've been in Ireland. We've been across the war in the Ukraine. We've been across even the possibility of nuclear warfare and Armageddon. But I suppose the big, and I hope not, but maybe the most significant breaking news of the day is that Benjamin Netanyahu is back in power in Israel, and that his coalition partners are much, much, much worse than him. What could possibly go wrong? Well, that's all I've got time for, but I'll be back, of course, on Sunday at 7 p.m. UK time. The Americans will have caught up with us, I think, in times of time changes by then. Do bring someone with you. We want to build this into the biggest alternative media house the world has ever seen.